Hey, Kid Willis here, Daytona Motor Mouths. That's Chris Vanell. It's in the other box. I'm here. New settings. Sitting back, relaxed.
You look really comfortable.
Yeah, and with the new look became a new intro duties for me. I don't know why you threw it to me to do that this week, but now I'm going to throw it right back to you so you can become the official host of another week of Daytona Motor Mouths here at the Daytona Beach News Journal in Volusia County, Florida.
Oh my gosh. You see, you're a pro, and I don't know, how long have you been doing these podcasts or these videos?
Boy, I bet it's been 15 or 20 years. Godwin and I started doing them a long time ago. And then we had, when we were in the mothership, the big office building that is no longer our office building, we had an actual recording studio. And we had a guy. And our guy would sit at the control board for us. And he had, and he would put it all together real slick. Like, we got a pretty good operation here now. We got a nifty little theme song that then the rolling tires, it kind of leads into it. But yeah, that dates back to the original. That's been around forever. So yeah, it's been a long run. I don't know how many we've done or how many. I've been part of them with Godwin. Then I was with Zach, and then I was with Ryan. You're my fourth guy, not counting our guy. Yeah, not counting our guy who ran the soundboard. You're my fourth guy. I'm going through them, man. Going through them like bad drivers.
I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Depending on if I save this thing for you. I'm now your guy.
No pressure, but no moss has grown under anybody in the seat you're in right now. But anyway, have fun.
Chase Elliott. That's where we're going today. You ready for that?
Oh, Chase. Been a while since we talked about old Billy Clyde.
I told you to keep your tinfoil hat nearby for this episode. And by golly, we just might need it. Yeah. Ken, the people are not pleased. The Chase Elliott haters are not pleased that he won this race at Martinsville this past weekend. Maybe he gets a favor done, they're saying, with a late caution there. He short pits. We all learned what short pitting was. It was an eventful last 100 or so laps for Chase Elliott after Denny Hamlin basically led the first 300. All that to say, what the heck do you make of Chase's win at Martinsville this past weekend?
I'm going to put these on so I come across a little bit smarter.
All right, here.
Explain to me who these. There you go. Explain to me who these mystery Chase Elliott haters are. I've never met a Chase Elliott hater. Never, ever. Well, even the staunchest Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick fan. Maybe a few Harvick fans. But I don't know anybody that hates Chase. I know people that don't pull for him. But yeah, they got.
Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You ever been on Twitter? You ever been on Twitter?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
they'll hate on any.
I guess I don't go as deep. I don't dig deep enough to find the haters, I guess.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this whole situation that he had this past weekend?
Thank God you didn't freeze. There for a minute we had the awkward silence. I thought you'd frozen and technology wasn't. But I think that I would have loved to have seen that piece of debris that had apparently brought out that last caution. It would have been nice to at least lay eyeballs on it. As I wrote about this week in our award-winning, critically acclaimed NASCAR Through the Years, there's been 6 or 8 sightings of Bigfoot in northeastern Ohio alone in the past 2 weeks, but we couldn't find a flaming brake rotor that flew off of Ty Dillon's car and brought out a yellow flag, allegedly. So anyway, it was apparently there, at least in the pit box it was there, and I don't know what the rule is in terms of throwing a yellow if there's something a foul in the pits, but maybe there's a subsection that reads unless Chase Elliott is leading. Yeah, I don't know. I'm throwing that out there just to keep it going. All is right with the world when Chase Elliott wins a race. Everybody's generally happy. The siren howls over there at the Dawsonville pool room in Dawsonville, Georgia, where the Bully Burger isn't bad. It's a little bit overrated, but it's not bad. So now we're thinking, I can hear what you're going to ask next. I can just sense that you're going to say, does this mean, or is he's off to a pretty good start this year. He's gathering a lot of points. Chase Elliott possibly in line for a run of the second Cup Series championship?
Let me cross it off the list.
All right, there you go. Maybe, but probably not, because I'm just going on the last several years as history. From 18 through 22, I just looked this up the other day, and not only did I find it, but I retained it. 18 wins and a championship between 2018 and 2022. After 22 into 2026, 4 wins. Just 4 wins.
Which is just weird.
I know. So naturally, the Chase camp, a lot of the people who idolize him and follow him religiously do what they do, and they blame the crew chief, Alan Gustafson. And
Sure.
so he's taken a lot of heat over the last couple of years. They've been clamoring, nothing like a good clamor. The Chase Nation, if there is such a thing, has been clamoring for a crew chief change, which they didn't get. But I was reading some stuff this week and listening to people that pay a lot of attention to it. They say you got two guys who are kind of low key guys, Chase and Alan, and they seem to get each other pretty well. And it's not like they've been making a mess of things. They just haven't been winning at the rate that they were before. And good Lord, that happens to a lot of race teams. A lot of people think maybe they should bring in a guy who's going to light a fire under Chase, but I don't know if you can light a fire under Chase. He's a nice little flatliner. I love flatliners, and that's what Chase is. And because you always know what you're going to get, and so you got to love guys like that instead of these guys. And so yeah, I would love to see him compete for a championship. You can't just say now. You can't say, hey, he's won races in the playoffs. Once he's into playoffs, anything can happen. That ain't the case anymore. You got to build your case. You got to state your case throughout the year and keep gathering points, and then get to the 10 race chase there at the end, and hopefully have enough points gathered that you're not in a little bit of a deficit, because they split the points up heading into the final 10 races, where the guy who's 16th is comfortably below the guy who's in first. You don't want to give up that chunk of points, and so far he's not. So far he's staying right up there. Nobody's close to Tyler Reddick, but that will change as the year goes on. I think that he'll come back to the field a little bit, or the field will go up toward him. Somebody like Denny Hamlin or Chase or Ryan Blaney. But you know what they say? You know what they say, Chris?
What do they say?
We'll see.
We will. Chase leads 84 laps. He's now up to second in the point standings behind our guy Tyler Reddick, who has been the subject of the last, I don't know, maybe all 6 or 7 of these we've done this season. So it's not like he's had any sort of bad season so far, Chase. But he does get his first win. That's the first win for Hendrick Motorsports this season.
I know.
And this was the longest that they had gone into a season without a victory since 2019.
Yeah,
it's all that
crazy. Not surprising though.
Yeah, but it's almost more surprising to me that they've won a race, inside the first 6 in every season for the last 7 leading up to this year, that seems crazy to me.
It seems nuts for any team to have that stat until you just start looking at their roster of team cars and drivers, and you go, oh, now I can understand. Yeah. But we are now at, I think, 31 races without a win for Kyle Larson. So he has still not won since after attempting the double last year, the Indy and Charlotte double. So it might be the curse of the double. It bit him the first year. He had to miss the Charlotte race. And then after last year, he has not won a cup race since attempting the double. Unless
you have to try it again to reverse that?
That's right. Doing the double reverse back whammer jammer mojo kickback. Yeah. U-turn, hairpin. I don't know if there's such a thing. But if they were going to do that, they would have announced that a long time ago. It's too late in the going to try to put an IndyCar ride together for this year's 500.
Well, you never know. You have a situation where somebody needs a sub, like Alex Bowman, his teammate, does in the Cup Series right now, and Kyle raises his hand and goes, I'll do it. But yeah, no, I think you're right.
I think he's done with that for a long time, as in ever, probably.
We have a week off this week, kind of. All right. A week off that's not really a week off. There's still 2 races, but no Cup Series action this upcoming Sunday because it's Easter. But this is something we talked about last year. They brought back Rockingham onto the NASCAR schedule in the old Busch Series, the Xfinity or the See, I did Xfinity Series there. The O'Reilly Series, and then the trucks. They did it last year. They're continuing it this year. I assume you're a fan of that because you were last year. Yes, nothing has changed in the last year.
Yeah, nothing's changed. It is as a so-called week off goes, it gets no better than this because only the Cup's off. The Cup Series is off. The trucks and the Busch cars, so much easier back then. Will be racing at Rockingham, which to me is the perfect racetrack. It's got nice banking. It's 1 mile, which I think that's the sweet spot, a mile for track. And it's fast, and it's got unforgiving asphalt that the down near the sand hills, it's close enough to what the Aussies have the sand belt. The South Carolina has the sand hills, and it just plays hell on the asphalt at Darlington, and likewise at Rockingham, which is an hour and a half up the road. So tire wear is an issue. It's fast because it's long enough at a mile and bank high enough that 22 and 24 degrees, I think, in the two corners, that they can get some speed. It's a fast track. It's a fun track. It just happens to be in an area of the world where you can't, as they say, you can't get there from here. It's sort of the middle of nowhere in the boondocks, so it kind of fell out of favor in NASCAR Cup Series because of marketing and the saturation of races in the Southeast. There were so many races in that area. I mean, Darlington, Charlotte, and Rockingham, and North Wilkesboro when it was still going, and Martinsville. They're all right there in that pocket, and so Rockingham lost out due to marketing concerns, demographics, and whatnot, and size of market basically. So what's old is new again, though. Bowman Gray, North Wilkesboro. So maybe back to Nashville Fairgrounds one of these days if we're lucky. So Rockingham's back, and Truck and O'Reilly Series, which is damn sure better than nothing, which they have for about a decade or so. So I am going to watch because I have fond memories of the Rockingham track. Those races just seem to never disappoint. So the Rock, as we call it, which not hardly unique if it's called Rockingham. The Rock seems to be can't call it the Ham. I guess we could. We'll call it.
You
the
know
Rock.
what? You just led me into my next question. I'm no NASCAR historian like you, right? I'm still new to this thing. Rockingham doesn't have like a special food item that like Martinsville does, for example, right? Is there anything where you go to Rockingham and you're like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to get this?
I don't know. When I was there, you would go up the road several miles on the highway from the track, and you'd eat at a place that was called. It was a surf and turf type of place, and it was called the Lob Steer restaurant.
Really good.
And
really good.
Yeah. Catchy, huh? But they round tabled that one for a few weeks before they landed on lobster. And that's all. When I think of food in Rockingham, I think of the lobster. Now a little farther up the road, they're not far from Pinehurst, the golf cradle of Pinehurst and the village of Pinehurst, and Pine Needles and all the different bungalows that they have there alongside the golf courses that you could get back then in late February. You could get them for dimes on the dollar for that time of year because nobody was there playing golf. So yeah, it was a neat place to go watch an automobile race.
Hold that golf thought because we may be talking about that here in the next week or two. I've heard there is a big tournament that you and I are both fans of coming up. So
one's a brewing. Yep.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. That's Ken Willis. I'm Chris Vanell. This has been Daytona Motor Mouths. Do you want to go do the outro? Go ahead. Don't let me steal your thunder.
You let me do the intro, and I can't do the outro.
Well,
this has been Daytona. We're stepping all over it, aren't we?
Go ahead.
This has been Daytona Motor Mouths with Chris Vanell, Ken Willis. Thank you for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.